Hey everybody, this is Tom Nelsabin from the APBA blog. A couple weeks ago, Chuck Lucas from he left a comment saying that he'd like to see sort of a tour of how I keep track of stats from for my National League 1966 replay. So I thought I'd just go through and show you a little bit about how I do my stats, how I keep stats, how I look at leaderboards, standings, that kind of thing. So I'll just go through this quick tour and how I do it. If any of you have questions, you certainly can leave a comment on the site. Let's start with exactly what I have as far as files. I keep track of my stats in Excel, Microsoft Excel, the latest version, Excel 2016, and all I have are basically an Excel file for each team and one additional file. It's a master file, and basically that's essentially it. What I thought I would do is just go through the steps that it takes for me to enter in stats for one game. Now, I played a game between the Houston Astros and the Chicago Cubs on May 19th, 1966, and so the process is pretty simple. I'm going to open up the I'm going to open up the master file, and the only stats I enter in on the master file are basically the score and the winning pitcher, the losing pitcher, and saves. If I want to, I can put in some highlights. So as you can see, I played games through the May 18th. This is the first game of the 19th, and as it turned out, the Cubs won 6-5 in the regulation 9-inning game. So I have a spot for the score for the visitors team, score for the home team, winning pitcher, losing pitcher, save, and if I want to add a little bit of highlights, it's basically just my own, fun. It doesn't add anything to the spreadsheet itself. It's fun for me to look back and see. So I'm going to add in here the score. Now you'll notice I'm using conditional formatting for Excel. You'll notice that because the Cubs score is higher than the Astros score, the Chicago name is bolded. That happens automatically because of the formula I put in there. It's just a little thing. It doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just a fun thing I put in there. Henley was the winner, and Barry Latman was the loser, and hey, Jenkins was the got to save. And I'm gonna put a little bit of fun stuff in here. Banks got the game-winning hit, and oops, sorry. And let's see. Oh yeah, Phelps got a 3-run homer. And yeah, that's just so if I can go back in a couple of days later and say, oh yeah, that's right, that happened. That's the only thing I add in for the master spreadsheet. I can go ahead and save it, and then I'll go back here and I'll open up the Chicago spreadsheet. Now you'll notice here under the schedule, this looks exactly the same as the master spreadsheet. However, it's filtered, it's linked from that sheet, and it only includes the Chicago games. I've linked it. You'll notice I'll go ahead and click on one of these here. you'll notice it links from the master spreadsheet, and you'll notice it already includes the one I just put in there with the correct score, pitcher, winning pitcher, losing pitcher, save, and highlights. So, how do I get the stats in there? I'm gonna go ahead and go to the first. This is what a player's page looks like. It's got the game dates they played, the amount of games, stats, the total stats at the top, and of course their name. Klein actually did play today. He's not a total regular, but I'll go ahead and enter in. It's 19th, and he played a game, of course, and then one at bat, and he struck out. He pinch hit, and you'll notice up here when I enter in the stats, it automatically updates up here, and I'll show you the next when I enter in Becker's stats here. You notice up here where it says up here, I'm going to go ahead and enter. It automatically updates. Becker, 5 at bats. You'll notice it automatically change. And you also notice that the averages, slugging percentage, and the on-base percentage, they also will recalculate every time an at-bat gets updated, or a hit, or whatever stat needs to be updated. One run and one hit for, and so you notice that Becker's average went up to 297. And I'll do a couple more just so you get the idea of how this is working. And 2 at bats for Williams, and he scored twice. Got a double, no RBIs, but 2 walks and a strikeout. You notice that Williams is having kind of a rough year. He is picking it up though. And I'll do one more. I'll do Ron Santo. He's having a pretty good year for me this year. And he had a pretty good game. He had 3 at bats and 2 hits and RBI and a strikeout. So I'm going to pause this now, and I'll do the rest of the batting stats, and we'll pick up the pitchers when we come back. Okay? Okay, I'm just finishing up the batting stats. You'll see here that Adolfo had a great game for the Cubs against the Astros. And let me just see if there are any more. I think I had to do the pitcher stats, and that would be Bill Hands. Hands just had a couple of bats here, and I think he struck out once. And I believe that is it. If you wonder how I'm navigating the tabs below, I'm doing Control page down or page up. It's just a lot easier than clicking on each tab. I'm making the hitters tabs red, just my own choice. Now you'll notice that Balboa and Jackson and Keene and Covington are black. That's because they no longer are on the Cubs. They've been traded or let go. It just, again, my own choices makes it easier for me to remember. And I believe that's all the hitter stats I have, but of course I have pitchers who people in. Now I just made the pitcher stats below. The pitchers page looks a little bit different. I've had to rename the pitchers tab down here below with the pitcher's name -P because it won't let me name the pitcher's name again. It just tells me that there is a tab with that name already. But it's pretty much the same concept. I just put the date in, and one game, one start. Hands, of course, did not complete the game. He rarely ever does. But he actually went 6 innings, and he did pitch an okay game. He 10 hits, and it was a typical Bill Hands game, giving up 5 runs and 4 earned, 1 home run. Only 1 walk, which is rare for him, and 1 strikeout. He did not get the win. But, however, Bob Hemingway did. And he got one in one inning, and he just lost 1 batter, and then that's it. But for his efforts, he did get a win. So Jenkins did get the win. The save. And Jenkins, by the way, is it's his first year with the Cubs. He did relieve more than he started, but he is pretty much the only B reliever in the bullpen for the Cubs. So he will become very valuable now. He's become traded to the team. And he went 2 innings and just a strikeout for him. So that's it as far as entering stats. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the Houston Astros stats, and then I'll pick up after that. Okay. So I'm just finishing up the Houston Astros pitching stats. I just got Barry Latman's loss in, and so now we're going to go over to the beginning of the Houston Astros team sheet. Now I've already shown you this. It's the schedule and results. Again, this is all linked from the master spreadsheet. This is the team roster and stats. Just like the schedule, this is linked. This is linked from the player sheet. For example, we may here this sheet right here, these range of cells right here are linked to, let me find them here. Here he is. To this. This here is a link to that range of cells on his player sheet. So I don't need to enter in again onto this sheet here. So I can look at a glance at this page and see how the hitting is or the pitching on the Houston Astros. Now I've done some conditional formatting on this page to see who leads the team in each category. I have a little tweaking to do, as you can tell, because this doesn't give me a good idea who's leading the team in hitting or slugging or on base, but I'll figure that out at some point. When I'm done entering the stats, which takes again about 5 or 10 minutes, depending upon the complexity of the game, I like to go to the master spreadsheet. If you've read Rod Caborn's column on the APBA blog, he's a big proponent of rechecking your stats, making sure everything is equals up, everything checks out, and I do too. This is basically what I would call the team stats, the league stats of my replay. It has the total hitting, home runs, strikeouts of the whole league by team, and the reason I come here first is that I have again some conditional formatting here, which basically says that if the total strikeouts on the hitting side don't match the total strikeouts on the pitching side, make this red, because it's a red flag that they don't match, or the hits don't match, or the home runs don't match, or walks. In this case, I did make a mistake. I have one extra strikeout than I do pitching. I did a quick look, and I noticed that I think that Williams didn't get credit for a strikeout. So yeah, he did not. So if I just add this strikeout here for the 19th, and I'll save it. I don't need to, but I will. It will take effect on the spreadsheet. Everything's blue. Well, everything's good. I look at the standings, of course. That's always fun. And it's always nice to sort, so the standings are in order. I always sort by percentage, largest to smallest first, then by games back, smallest to largest, and then wins, largest to smallest, total wins. I do that, and it looks like the Cubs have gone up a notch to 8th place. The wins and losses come directly from the team spreadsheet. This 12 here and 17, they come from, it's a direct link from here. Right, these two numbers here is which is basically a sum of the pitcher's wins are linked to here, and that goes for all the teams. And the winning percentage is a basic simple formula: wins divided by wins plus losses. And I do this, just to make sure I have the same amount of wins as I do losses. This is one of my favorite part of the spreadsheet. It's made of a lot of different pivot tables. If I close the spreadsheet, reopen it, it will recalculate the leaderboards automatically based on the latest game updated. Now, if I already had the spreadsheet open, I can just do a refresh, and I'm going to do that, and you can see that they just refreshed with the updated values. For example, Jimmy Wynn is now leading in RBIs because what did he do? He went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs based on a home run. Now he is ahead of Willie Mays and Joe Torre. I also, with pivot tables, you can sort by batting average based on a particular amount of at-bats, or in the case of pitchers, innings pitched. So you don't get people who have gone, 5 for 10, but it can be based on a minimum required amount of play appearance. I go by play appearances. So I've got a fair amount of stats that get updated every time that I import stats with players, team names, and what the particular category. I even have some negative stats like lowest batting average based on qualifying players. Jim Gentile is still lagging behind at batting 138 here. And the same goes for pitching stats. ERA, strikeouts, wins, and and the rest. It's a lot of fun. I don't have to. The only time I need to enter in stats is on the pitcher, on the team spreadsheets. I don't have to recalculate the leaderboards. I don't have to recalculate standings. It's done for me, but I do feel I'm part of the process. I'm always tinkering with this. I'm always playing around with it and adding more features to it, but also making it look better if I can, that kind of thing. This, by the way, is the actual team register. It's now, or sorry, league register. It's now based on filtered by team. I'm going to change that so that you can see everybody. This is every player that has batted in the replay. You notice I have a key value for teams, so if I want to filter by team like I did, I can. The same goes for pitching, which I seem to have filtered by one player, that is Fergie Jenkins. Now you can see every player. So it kind of gives you an idea of how I do my stats. I have a quick current leaders board here that just pulls from the very top when I sort by batting average, the top player when I sort by home runs, and you can see now that RBIs, Jimmy Wynn shows up now and not I guess it was Willie Mays before. It's a quick ticker thing that I like to see. But it's a fun way to do it. I like to do my stats this way. It makes it fun for me to do stats. I look forward to them. One of the biggest complaints I hear about playing APBA is that, oh, I hate doing stats. But for me, I look forward to it. I love going to, for example, here and typing in the stats and how far up will his stats go up if he goes 2 for 1, 1 for 2, or whatever. It really is a thrill for me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's useful. I'd love to hear feedback. Let me know. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.